So WrestleMania 42 is in the books. There's so much to talk about, so much that went down on this pay-per-view. Obviously, all the pay-per-views going on throughout the year in WWE are leading up to this pay-per-view. This is WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all. Normally a WWE wrestler's dream. And to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't have a problem with WrestleMania. I don't think it was the best by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't, it definitely had its flaws. It definitely had its moments of, I feel like, pointless storylines or pointless storylines and pointless elements. I'll definitely say that it definitely had his moments of that. But I feel like as far as the matches, which is what we're going to talk about, as far as the matches, as far as the overall performance of how everyone performed, I feel like it was cool. Where, me and my brother watch WrestleMania every single year. My other half, and I'm a wife with my brother. We watch WrestleMania every year, and it's kind of a tradition. And like I said, it's nothing to say that this was the greatest WrestleMania of all time. That would be insane. But it was passable. It was cool. So we're going to talk about each match, going one by one. Just going to talk about, whatever went on in the match, who won, and just give my thoughts and opinion on it. I'm not going to spend too much time on each match because there's so many matches that we have to get to. It's gonna be really, really quick. Is it because so many matches that we do have to get to because it was 2 nights, so I'm just combining this into one video. But it was 2 nights of obviously WrestleMania, Saturday and Sunday. So just starting it off, we'll just go down the list, and then I'm saving the 2 main events for the end. So we'll talk about Roman and CM Punk and Cody and Randy at the end. But starting off, LA Knight and the Usos defeated the Vision and I Show Speed via pinfall. Even though I Show Speed still ended up getting a moment at the end of the match. So that was cool. I'm a huge Usos fan, so anytime the Usos can be at WrestleMania is a win for me. Obviously, last year, with Jey Uso winning the championship last year was cool. But I feel like the match was good. I feel like the match was was it the best as far as having any point to it? No. But it was, I mean, someone has to, kick it off. So I feel like as far as the kickoff match, I feel like it has some nice elements. Obviously, the Usos and LA Knight won. You had Speed have his moment at the end of the match. So I feel like it was able to get people who may know Speed but don't know, not really as in tune with the WWE part of the segment of it. And plus, we're in Las Vegas, so maybe everyone there wasn't as big of WWE fans, but maybe they know Speed. So I feel like it was a nice way to start it off and kind of get people who may not be as invested as wrestling fans into the pay-per-view as far as paying attention. I feel like that was a nice start off to WrestleMania. The next match after that was Jacob Fatu defeated Drew McIntyre via pinfall. I rock with that. I like the match. I like Jacob Fatu. I like Drew McIntyre. Anytime, with matches like this, I guess people could say as far as wrestling, I'm kind of easy to impress because if it's 2 great wrestlers in there, more than likely I'm probably gonna like the match unless it's just a terrible, awful, just they didn't do anything match. If it's 2 wrestlers in there that I happen to like, then normally I'll be a fan of the match. And I thought this match was good. I thought the right person won. I loved Jacob Fatu getting the win at WrestleMania over Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is a credible name that anyone can beat, and I feel like it gives you credibility. I feel like it gives you some credible steam, like even if you're like a newer person in the company, I feel like if they give you the nod to beat a person like Drew McIntyre, I feel like it gives you some credibility. It gives you some credible steam, some credible like confidence, not only from the fans to you, but it also should give you a confidence boost to yourself because they gave you the nod to beat someone like Drew McIntyre. So I feel like the right person won. I have no problem with Jacob Fatu getting the win. I love Jacob Fatu as a wrestler, as a character, his personality, as far as how he sells his character. I feel like is great. So I give WWE the nod for allowing Jacob Fatu to beat Drew McIntyre. Thought it was a good match. Didn't have a problem with that one at all. Paige returned after 8 years and claimed the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships along with Brie Bella. Brie Bella and Paige are now the Women's Tag Team Champions. Once again, it was a lot going on in this match. Like the Nikki Bella spot, and I didn't understand that much. That was I didn't understand that. And then somehow Nikki Bella attacking Charlotte wasn't illegal. I didn't understand that. Somebody in WWE is going to have to explain that, because I don't understand how Nikki Bella attacking Charlotte isn't illegal. In the middle of the match, in front of the referee, I don't see how that's not illegal. But listen, I guess they had to have a spot. Maybe they wanted to. It was just, it was bad. But the best way I could hope it was, or assume it was, I think that maybe they wanted to have a spot for Nikki Bella. So maybe that was the spot that, that she can have like a little moment. Because I know sometimes WWE do that. And I'm sure anyone who watches WWE, I'm pretty sure you guys notice if it's someone who they want to have like a spot or something in like a WrestleMania, they'll do something like a interference or something like that, right? Something where they can get them on TV. That's the point, where they can get them in front of the cameras doing something. So they'll do that. That's my guess. I assume they just wanted her to have a spot, but it didn't make for, it did make for a great match. I'll be honest with you guys, and it didn't make for a great moment. But on the bright side, you got to take the good with the bad. So on the bright side, Paige is back, which I rock with. I always was a Paige fan. I have no problem with Paige. I thought she was a cool character when she was in WWE. Now that she's back. And being back now that she's the Women's Tag Team Champions along with Brie Bella, I think that is a huge boost for her being back. And I'm glad that they gave her her moment in the sun as far as winning the championship as she returned. So that's what's up. Had no problem with that match at all. Next match was Becky Lynch defeated AJ Lee to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Once again, I don't know, and I've been saying this for years. It's kind of like my inside joke. I'm pretty sure everyone has probably used this joke by now, but I still use it. I don't know how it's legal to have the man, Becky Lynch, going against women and nobody says anything. But anyway, I'm just joking. But anyway, Becky Lynch beat AJ Lee, which once again I have no problem with. AJ Lee has always, in my opinion, been, from her time, back in the companies when she used to be around, and even her time of returning back to the company, I feel like she always has been for the most part, now I don't know her backstage, rep or anything like that, but I feel like she always has been a team player, like doesn't have a problem. She always gave me that vibe to where I don't feel like she has a problem putting someone else over. I could be wrong. Obviously I'm not in the backstage area, so I don't know. But certain people, and I'm sure my WWE fans know what I'm talking about. Certain wrestlers just give you that vibe, like to who they like. You can tell from who they lose to, who like stuff they've done in the past. Certain wrestlers just give you that vibe of they don't care as much as other wrestlers for putting other wrestlers over. Because a lot of wrestlers, if you go, I'm pretty sure, go look on YouTube, there's so many videos up, and you'll find videos of people who, it might be some of your favorite wrestlers that didn't like putting other people over, which is understandable, because I always look at it from the aspect of this. If you've built up a character and you are a main eventer at this point, you're probably to the point where you don't want to put nobody else over because you're afraid or you're fearful of what it would do to your rep or what it would do to your credibility to have you lose and have you put somebody else over, especially the way you put them over. So I feel like it's always a thing of that, which I kind of always respect. I don't ever take it out of proportion when people have a problem putting other wrestlers over. I tend to understand it, like I said, because people work hard to get their characters liked by the fans and accepted and stuff like that. Not every wrestler is going to be like, okay, well, I'm willing to just risk that to put this wrestler over. But AJ Lee has always been one of those people that I don't think felt like that. Even when she first, I don't know if you guys remember, but when Paige first was on the main roster, she beat AJ Lee her first night on Raw. Like, that's stuff like that gives me the idea that she don't mind putting other people over. So her putting over Becky Lynch, I feel like was fitting, honestly. Shout out to Becky Lynch for winning the Intercontinental Championship, Women's Intercontinental Championship. It just adds on to her rep of being, one of the greatest women to be in wrestling. I definitely think she has that on lock as far as this point. I mean, her argument to be that, I feel like it's cemented. Like, Becky Lynch has done so much as far as her career accomplishments. It's ridiculous at this point, and I feel like she has a lot more left in the tank. We'll see how long this reign goes, but I think just in general, as her being a wrestler, she has a lot more in the tank. So shout out to her getting another win at WrestleMania. So shout out to Becky Lynch for that, and shout out to AJ Lee as well, for just being a good sport and actually, like I said, putting Becky Lynch over. That's what's up. The next match was it's funny. The next match actually featured Becky Lynch's husband, Gunther, or Gunta, however you want to say it, defeated Seth Rollins via submission, also with some help of Braun Breaker as well. I thought this was a cool match. It kind of was, I'll be honest, kind of was a little predictable, but it's WrestleMania, okay? It's the grandest stage of them all. I feel like it was a good match. I love that they had Braun Breaker return and obviously help out Gunther and spear Seth Rollins. I thought that was great. I thought the after the match spot was great with the extra spear after the match. Braun Breaker with the spears is electrifying. He's like the Rock when it comes to those. If the Rock and Goldberg, like if the Rock's personality was like maybe mixed with Goldberg and turn that into a spear, it would be Braun Breaker's spear, because his spear looks terrifying. Like, it looks like he literally jumps in, and obviously that's what a spear is. You're jumping into the other wrestler, but his spear looks really devastating. So I thought it was a good match. I thought the right person won once again. I kind of knew that was leaning that way, but you never really know at WrestleMania. So I feel like the right person won. Gunther, I have no problem with him at all. Seth Rollins is obviously an amazing wrestler. Once again, I feel like he's up there with, he's probably above Drew McIntyre at that point, because he's been, at that point a little longer. But I feel like Seth Rollins is another person that's anyone. You could be a solidified person like Gunther, or you could be like Gunther, or anyway, you could be, or like Triple H says, Gunther. You could be like him and be solidified, or you can be a newer wrestler that's trying to build a name. Regardless, if you beat Seth Rollins, that's a credible win. Regardless, like, Seth Rollins is that good of a worker that it doesn't matter if you're solidified, if you're new, if you're developmental talent, whatever. If you beat Seth Rollins, that is a credible win. And shout out to Gunther for getting the win. I think it was a good match. Loved the Braun Breaker interference. Thought it was a great match. WWE, I feel like did their thing with that one. So shout out to Gunther for getting the win. The next match is Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan won the women's world title once again. What a surprise! No, I'm just joking. I kind of, once again, just kind of seen this Kind of seen it coming, you know. But pause on that. But anyway, I feel like Liv Morgan at this point is becoming. I'll get to that on the Rhea Ripley match, but I feel like Liv Morgan is becoming too. It's kind of difficult at this point to beat, in my opinion, to beat Liv Morgan without you having your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Here's what I mean by that. Remember the Roman Reigns, like when the bloodline was at its peak, right? You pretty much knew that if anything goes wrong with Roman Reigns, if he gets into any trouble, if he gets into any situation to where it looks like he's close, even close to losing, you know that the Usos are on their way, right? I feel like Liv Morgan at this point is getting to, if she's not already there, she's getting very close to that. I feel like if you don't have your allies, I guess you could say, because it is WWE we're talking about. If you don't have your allies and like your backup plan for her backup plan, you're losing. I really feel like that. I really feel like that when people go against Liv Morgan now. Like if you she has her backup plan. I feel like every time she steps into a ring, if anything goes wrong, she has a backup plan. If you do not go into that match having a plan for what you're going to do, I feel like you're cooked, honestly. So, shout out to and the Liv Morgan match, her winning the world title once again, I feel like just proved that. So, shout out to Liv Morgan for reclaiming the women's world title. This was the shock of the night. Obafemi defeated Brock Lesnar. No, that's not the shock. The shock was Obafemi defeated Brock Lesnar. Shout out to Obafemi. Great props and applause to WWE for allowing Obafemi to do that. I feel like that was a great move. Build up, like I said, build up the new stars, build up the new talent. I feel like that was great to have him beat Brock Lesnar. That was not the shock. The shock was after the match, Brock loses, and he sits there, and the Beast incarnate himself, has, from what it looks like, retired from the WWE. He put the gloves in the middle of the ring, put the boots in the middle of the ring, and we know in wrestling, that means he's done. So, great career to Brock Lesnar. I'm not going to get into his personal, I'm not going to get into personal issues, whatever. We're going to talk about WWE as far as the characters in WWE. As far as that, Brock Lesnar has been one of the best characters, the best characters and people you can really somewhat believe was actually true, to actually believe in their character, like as far as that, the realness of it. Brock Lesnar has been that for so many years in WWE, regardless of what he does personally or whatever. He has been one of the best characters in WWE history. Call it what you want. Brock Lesnar has been a great character. He's done a lot in this company, and I feel like he has gave us some really entertaining moments. He gave us some very entertaining memories, I feel like. We were witnesses to Suplex City multiple times, and it was kind of shocking that Suplex City is it has its last exit. It has its last exit last night. So Brock Lesnar, great career, man. Just to name a few accomplishments that he's done throughout his career, just to give you guys an idea. 10-time WWE champion, world champion. I mean, two-time Royal Rumble winner, 2002 King of the Ring winner, 2019 Money in the Bank winner, and obviously the elephant in the room. Obviously, he broke the Undertaker's streak. I could have just said the Undertaker's streak, and you guys would have got it. But just to give you an idea, that's all the things that he's done throughout the course of his career, and it's over now for him, for his career. But I'm glad that his last match, the last time we got to see the Beast incarnate in the ring, was at WrestleMania. So shout out to WWE for giving him the proper exit, in my opinion. Giving him the WrestleMania exit, letting him leave, letting him get his moment, and just bowing out after the match and retiring after a great career. So shout out to the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, man. Suplex City. That's all I got to say. Next match is Penta retained his Intercontinental Championship against Javon Evans, JD McDonough, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee. The right person won. I think the right person won. Shout out to Penta for retaining. I didn't think he would, but I feel like the right person did win. Like I said, I didn't think he would. I was kind of getting very doubtful just leading up to it, because I just get, my wrestling fans know, you just get a feeling, like you get a pause on that, but you just get like a certain thing when you get to certain matches and you're like, I don't know if he really gonna retain, but he did, and it shocked me. But I feel like the right person did win. Shout out to him for retaining his Intercontinental Championship. And the odds were not stacked in his favor, but he did get the job done at WrestleMania. So shout out to Penta for doing that. Like I said, it was getting a little doubtful for me, especially like leading up to the match, but getting a little doubtful. But he did retain, so he shocked me and put my doubts to rest. So shout out to Penta for retaining his Intercontinental Championship. Real talk. Trick Williams, I like this match in my opinion. Trick Williams beat Sami Zayn for his United States Championship. I feel like this was a good match. Shout out to Sami Zayn, another one of those soldiers who I was talking about earlier, who don't mind putting others over. No shade to anybody. I'm just saying. He also doesn't mind putting anyone over. Sami Zayn is, I feel like, definitely one of those people who don't mind putting other people over. And Trick Williams is a rising star. He's upcoming star. He already has his star now, but I'm saying his star, I feel like, has many more levels to rise as far as potential. I don't even think he's scratching the surface now. So I feel like his star definitely has many more levels to increase. But I feel like he is a star now, but he hasn't even scratched the surface to the star he can be. But he is a star now, and I feel like the right man absolutely won this match. Shout out to Sami Zayn for, like I said, being a soldier and putting the right person over, helping Trick Williams get that momentum even further. And like I said, that helps the momentum of Trick Williams' star rise even further, like I feel like it can, because I feel like the sky is the limit for Trick Williams. I'm just being honest. For Trick Williams, I feel like the sky is the absolute limit. I don't think there's anything that Trick Williams can look at in the WWE, whether it's World Heavyweight Champion, whatever, World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion, whatever it is. I don't think at this point of where his potential is, now, not to be arrogant, but I'm just saying, I don't think there's anything that he can look at and think, or should look at and think, I can't do that. I feel like anything, and I mean anything, I mean Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, whatever it may be, he should look at everything at this point of his career from where his potential is. Because, like I said, I feel like his star has so many more levels, but from where his potential is just now, I feel like he should look at every accomplishment or title, whatever, in WWE and feel like, I can do that. It may not happen soon, but eventually I'll be there. Because I feel like his star, his personality, his character is to that point to where he can do anything. So I don't think at this point, especially after beating an experienced veteran like Sami Zayn, call it what you want, but Sami Zayn is a great wrestler. as far as a great wrestler, great competitor. As far as being someone like Sami Zayn, I feel like this is just the beginning. Trick Williams should look at whatever title, whatever he wants to do in WWE, and know that that's achievable. Like I said, it may not happen soon, but the marathon is definitely continues, and I feel like in his marathon, the sky is the limit. That's just me, though. Next match, the Demon Finn Balor defeated Dominic Mysterio. Anytime the Demon Finn Balor is present, it's a dub for me. So, Demon Finn Balor, I happen to love as a character, so that was a win for me. And I feel like him getting a win over Dominic Mysterio was absolutely correct. I feel like the Demon Finn Balor is... I would almost say that the WWE doesn't boost, but like that, the demon character of Finn Balor enough. Because the way I would play the demon Finn Balor stuff, like when he is the demon and stuff like that, the way I would do it for Finn Balor, it would be to the point where you can do whatever you want. Pause on that. But you can embarrass Finn Balor. You can abuse him in the promos. You can defeat him in the matches, whatever. That's Finn. No, now keep in mind that's Finn Balor. Okay, it's not the demon or anything like that. That's just Finn Balor, regular old Finn Balor. You can do whatever. You can, like I said, beat him in the matches, beat him in the promos, whatever. That's Finn Balor. But the way it would be is when you get Finn Balor to the point to where he goes into demon mode or demon Finn Balor, I feel like it should be like a whole new, like, it should be like a whole new person almost. Like the stuff that the demon can do, Finn Balor can't dream of. Like he can't dream of doing half that stuff. That's the way I would play it. Like the stuff the demon does, Finn is like, nah, I can't do that. The people the demon beats, Finn can't. I would play it like that. I play it like that every time. Every single time. The people, Seth Rollins, we're talking about Seth Rollins, for example. And it's real quick because we got a couple more matches to get to. But Seth Rollins, for example. The demon can beat Seth Rollins easy. Easy. He can beat Seth Rollins any day of the week. Now, Finn Balor, on the other hand, not so much. Seth Rollins is probably guaranteed to beat Finn Balor. But now, the demon, on the other hand, Seth Rollins going to have some problems. That's the way I would play the demon every single time. So shout out to the demon Finn Balor for getting the win over Dominic Mysterio, the talent of Dominic Mysterio as well, because we all know Dominic Mysterio is an extremely talented wrestler and a very interesting character as well. So shout out to the demon for getting the win over Dominic Mysterio. Great way to play it by WWE. Triple H, you did your thing on that one. The demon Finn Balor is always a dub to me. So you did your thing on that one, Trips. The next match was Rhea Ripley defeated Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. I rock with this match. I did. Me and my brother noticed something about this match. Really quick. I'm just hit this real quick and we'll get into the match. Jade Cargill was the champion. Let's get a little. It's funny. This is how everyone should have kind of known what was gonna happen. Okay. Jade Cargill is the champion. Okay, she's the champion of this. She's the champion of the women's division. She's the women's champion. Okay. Jade Cargill entered the ring first. Oh yeah. Soon as that happened, everyone should have known. Rhea Ripley probably got it. She probably got it. For anyone who doesn't watch his wrestling, let me explain. Jade Cargill entering the ring first. The champion entering before the challenger is like this. you're fighting Floyd Mayweather, and you're a okay boxer, right? You're okay. Like, you got a couple wins, a couple knockouts, cool. But Floyd enters the ring before you. That's not gonna happen. That's what happened at WrestleMania. That's what should have let everybody know. Yeah, Rhea probably got it, and Rhea Ripley once again is starting to build up that reputation. She's becoming one of the most, as far as championship matches and big matches, in my opinion, say what you want, Rhea Ripley is becoming, if she's not already that, she's becoming one of the most difficult forces to beat in a big match possible. Because to defeat Rhea Ripley in a title match or a big match, you gotta have, it seems like you gotta have interference, some luck to go your way, the ref to get knocked out, her to get caught off guard. Like, it's so much that has to swing your way for you to beat Rhea Ripley in a big match or title match. Rhea Ripley is just getting close, if she's not already there, to an unbeatable force. So, can't say I was disappointed with the result. I liked the match as a whole. They were putting on some great moves. They put on a great match. As far as the moves they were doing, the momentum was kind of balanced back and forth. So I rock with it. I have a problem with the match. I feel like the right person did win, but just as a conclusion of this match, I feel like it was a great match from both of them. But as a conclusion, no offense to Jade Cargill, because she is amazing, but as a conclusion, Rhea Ripley is becoming, if she's not already that, like, close to an unbeatable force. I'm just saying. Then to get to the night one main event, Cody Rhodes defeated Randy Orton via pinfall to retain his undisputed WWE title. Contrary to the opinions online, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard them by now, a lot of people didn't like this match. I didn't have a problem with it. I wasn't opposed to it at all. Pat McAfee was heavily out of place. Didn't understand the point of having Pat McAfee there at all, other than the fact that he took a splash or elbow from Jelly Roll through the announce table, managed to come back out to the ring, but Jelly Roll didn't for whatever reason. He comes back out to the ring in a neck brace as the referee got knocked out, so he comes to obviously be the referee, right? Randy Orton has Cody Rhodes dead he is dead to defeat. I know the quote, I'm changing it. Dead to defeat. I'm dead to defeat. Cody Rhodes, all Pat McAfee has to do is get into the ring, count fast, right? 1, 2, 3, right? You're on Randy's side, right? So count fast. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Pat McAfee gets into the ring, and Pat McAfee gets into the ring and counts a regular to slow pinfall for the guy that you're on. Wait a minute. You're on Randy Orton's side, or supposed to be, and you're counting slow to normal, kind of slow to normal range. When Cody Rhodes is dead to defeat, the American Nightmare is seeing stars at this point. He's out. 1, 2, 3, it's over, right? Pat McAfee gets into the ring. 1, 2, and of course Cody kicks out. Of course Cody kicks out with that slow count. Of course he kicks out. So, naturally so, which everyone's seen coming. Pause. Everyone's seen this about to happen. So, Pat McAfee gets up, and Randy Orton is like looking and Randy Orton smiles at him like I can't, like, And the smile to me was more like, I cannot believe that you just that's what the smile was saying to me. I know people were like, why is he smiling at him? But to me, that's what the smile meant. I feel like Randy Orton was being kind of like passive aggressive in a way. Like, I cannot believe you just counted that slow to let him kick out. I thought it was like that. So when he gets up, Randy gets up, Pat McAfee gets up, and Pat McAfee is standing beside Randy Orton, and everyone knows what's about to happen at this point. Pat McAfee stands up. Randy Orton's like right here. And right on cue, Pat McAfee standing there. The 3 most dangerous letters in professional wrestling. RKO to Pat McAfee. And of course, that distracted Randy Orton. So he RKO Pat McAfee into the crossroads for Randy Orton. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes retains the title, and I feel like, once again, I kind of felt like Cody was going to win just because of how the promos and stuff were looking. I kind of felt like Cody Rhodes was going to win. The story, I feel like, was definitely there with the mentee beating the mentor. I will always rock with a storyline like that. I mean, this used to be, you got to understand, Cody Rhodes used to be like Randy Orton's little sidekick. Like that was his like little, that's his like do boy. Like, yeah, go do that for me. Yeah, like that was his. Like, tell him to go. Yeah, go beat up Triple H for me. Yeah, go beat up Triple H. Yeah, go beat up John for me. Yeah, they go do that. He used to be his do boy for him, and now at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, Cody Rhodes defeats his mentor with some distraction, but at the end of the day, he beat him. I didn't have a problem with the match. A lot of people did. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the match was cool. I thought it was, like I said, the storyline was definitely there, in my opinion. I didn't understand Pat McAfee's place, so I was glad Randy Orton gave him a clean RKO to get him out of the storyline. And I feel like the match as a whole was cool. Had some spots in there. That the super RKO from the Cody cutter into the RKO was clean. That was fire. Them hitting each other with their own moves, like Cody hitting the RKO, Randy hitting the crossroads. That was cool. Anytime somebody still moves, that's always a cool effect. And then after the match, if you did miss it, don't worry. We're getting a rematch at Backlash, so don't worry about it. Randy attacks Cody after the match and then holds up the belt. So I guess he achieved his goal. He ended WrestleMania holding the undisputed WWE Championship. He ended WrestleMania holding the undisputed WWE Championship like he wanted to. He didn't win it. It's not his, but he ended WrestleMania like he would have dreamed to. So shout out to Randy Orton. Shout out to the Legend Killer. Still can put on WrestleMania matches like this. Still can pull out some great moments. Still can put out some great spots. And that RKO isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So I can't wait to see the rematch. But it definitely was a cool match. I just didn't understand the certain, I guess you could say, speculators in the feud, like the Jelly Roll and the Pat McAfee, and I didn't get that. But it led to a great spot. Jelly Roll put Pat McAfee through a table. And then Pat McAfee got RKO'd as well. So it was just a bad day for Pat McAfee, but it is what it is. In the last match, shout out to Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. The last match we're going to talk about is Roman Reigns, the main event night 2. Roman Reigns defeated CM Punk to get the world heavyweight title. And allow me to say this. If there was any match that I feel like took the cake as far as like being the match of the whole WrestleMania, it was hands down this match. Roman Reigns and CM Punk put on a absolute, in my opinion, masterclass. They did a great match. CM Punk did a great job. Roman did a great job. The selling was on point from both of them. The I feel like both of them had their moments of winning the fight. Like both of them had their moments. I feel like domination. They both had their moments where they could have won. They both had their moments of resilience. Like they both had their moments of like just pushing it to that level. And I love the fact that this match, I love that they, both of them, I love that it wasn't like one or two, like or one or the other one. Both of them got to the point to where they both had nothing or barely had anything left at the end of the match. Like it was, they both were clearly tired. They both had clearly used everything. Like they used every move they can think of. Like they don't have anything else left to give at that point. And I love matches like that. So I love the fact that both of them got to that point to where they don't have no more gas left. They just fighting off just pure instinct and will at this point. That's what it was at the end of the match, and I feel like it was great. It was a 5, in my opinion. It was if not a nice 5-star, it was definitely a nice 4-star in my opinion. Nice match they put on the classic. I am a huge acknowledge me, but I'm a huge Roman Reigns fan. Shout out to the OTC for getting the win. Kind of felt like he was gonna win anyway, but I feel like how they had him win was absolutely amazing. Both of them being absolutely like depleted after the end of this match was. I love the way they sold it and they played it up and they played into the match. Like they didn't just treat it like another match. Like they treated it like, put it like this. And I know this is like a extremely extensive video, but they treated this match, if this makes sense, like the feud hate they had for each other. Like how they were saying how they hated each other and how they wanted to just hurt each other. That was expressed in the match, I feel like. Like, cause I feel like they really were just trying to both of them were just really trying to win. And at the end of the day, just the better person that had the most left at the end of the match won, which was Roman Reigns. And he didn't have much left, but he had 2 spears left in him. And that was all he needed to get the job done. So shout out to Roman Reigns, the OTC, for getting the job done. I feel like WrestleMania as a whole, was it the best? Absolutely not. It was too many loose ends, too many points that didn't make any sense. But I feel like WrestleMania as a whole, WrestleMania 42 was cool. It was definitely passable. It definitely wasn't the worst by any stretch of the imagination. Had some good matches, had some good moments. It also has some confusing moments as well. But hey, it's wrestling. You got to take the good with the bad once again. So great match. Shout out to the WrestleMania 42 host, recently retired, John Cena. Shout out to the WrestleMania 42 host. I feel like he did, for the little spots he did have, I feel like he did a cool job. Yeah, so just shout out to WWE as a whole for putting on another WrestleMania. It was definitely had some great moments, but I feel like as a whole, it was a cool WrestleMania for sure. So shout out to WWE, man. WrestleMania 42, WWE. It was like I said, it was pretty cool. So shout out to WWE, man. Shout out to Trips. Another year, another WrestleMania.